My name is Christian Devein, and I was the composer on the film Lycan. Andrew Gernhardt, the producer, wanted to do a special feature on this, and he gave me a list of questions. So, well, he thinks I'm a fucking moron. So we're going to go through these questions. Questions for Lycan composer Christian Devein. Number 1, who are you? Name, background. Well, I'm Christian Devein. I might be better known as the lead singer and songwriter for the industrial rock band Die Symphony. I found out about the producer Andrew Gernhardt from a newspaper article that I saw. It's about this guy who makes independent horror movies. And I stalked him, and I wouldn't get out of his face until he let me score his next movie. It also helped that I went to Netflix and rented a bunch of his other films. So I liked what he did, and when he told me about Lycan, it was exactly what I wanted to do. I've always been a user of Motu's Digital Performer. It's a computer program that runs on a Macintosh. I'm a Mac user. And that's what I've always used for writing music, be it Die Symphony or if I'm producing something. What's great about Digital Performer is it's got a lot of stuff already in it for film composing, and it's one of the most widely used programs for film composing. It's got everything in there to lock the picture and doing cue points and that kind of thing. One thing about doing an independent film is you don't quite have the budget you have when you're doing a big multi-million-dollar blockbuster. When you're doing a multi-million-dollar blockbuster, you have an orchestra, you have all of that kind of stuff that goes along with a big budget. On an independent film, you have to find ways of making it sound just as good, only on a limited budget. So this whole thing was done all on computers. One of the nice things Greg and Christian did, who are the directors, they gave me clips as they were going, as they were shooting the film, and what that allowed me to do is sort of get a feel for how things were going. They would give me clips of tension scenes, that kind of thing, where I could watch it and get an idea on, oh, we should do this, that kind of thing. At that point, we didn't discuss really what the focus of the music was going to be. I mean, was it going to be heavy? Was it going to be real orchestral? Or was it going to be, death metal polka? So, at that point, we were just pretty much watching the footage, seeing, how the actors were doing, sort of getting an idea of where it needed to go. We actually didn't really get started into music until the whole entire film was done and edited. And at that point, it probably took about 2 months. I had sort of a rough draft of ideas, that kind of thing. Next step in, the directors came into the studio. I played them everything. They went, oh, we like this, we don't like that. From there, I took their notes and made it what it is now. Early on, there was a lot of opinion about what the music should feel like, what it should say. Greg and Christian come from this great sort of, early 80s, 70s film noir kind of thing. So, they're looking at these, they're giving me all these DVDs and stuff, like, listen to the music on this. The producers, we're looking at something big, very underworld-ish, and that's great because that's right down the alley of what I write anyway. I don't read many scripts. I mean, I'm a songwriter. I'm not a screenwriter. I'm not a director. I read the script, and you sort of have to visually work out in your head, what's going to happen. It'll say on the paper, werewolf rips out throat, werewolf rips arm, beats guy, but until it's actually on film and you actually see it, do you really get it? I went in with knowing it was a great script. It was funny, reading it had lots of great kill scenes. I mean, and I love horror movies, so finally seeing the finished thing, with the effects, with the CG effects, and it was more than what I expected, and I expected a lot, so I was very pleasantly surprised. Number 8, what is your favorite scene in the film? Followed by, what is your favorite piece of music? Well, the favorite scene in the film would have to be the club scene in the bathroom. I was actually there when they filmed that. It was the first day of filming, so I figured I would come down to the set and see how the movie's being made. Just so you know, it wasn't in a nightclub. You'd be really surprised where it actually was. But that was something that I learned about filmmaking. Everything's, you know, it's the magic. It's, you're seeing the inside of a bathroom, but it's not really a bathroom. The way it was shot, you know, the coloring of it, the angles, you know, the blood, everything put together, that was probably my favorite scene. It stirs a little bit of anxiety and that kind of thing. And as far as what is your favorite piece of music, that'd have to be the theme song. Out of the whole entire thing, I worked on that the most. And that was something that I was able to start on before we even got the footage for the film. Anytime you get creative people in a room, there's going to be differences. That goes for anything. Being in bands, I'm used to it. Everybody wants to make it their own. Everybody sees the same thing, but sees it a little differently at the same time. So, and that's what makes working with other people great. You feed off of that. Greg and Christian, they see it, you know, through their eyes, and, you know, they see the shot, and they see, you know, what they have. And then the producers, you know, they have the same thing in their, you know, and their influences and what they feel like it should be. And then you get all those together and you swirl them into one big thing, and out comes Lycan. Usually the film composer doesn't find the music for the movie, at least when it comes to bands and that kind of thing. That's the job of this music supervisor, but in an independent film, many times people are wearing many different hats. Well, so the first thing I thought to do was, well, call my friends. We needed a rock band. The first band I thought of was Modern Day Zero. Dice Symphony and Modern Day Zero did a lot of shows in the past, so they've been longtime friends. I called Scotty, the singer, and Scotty was like, you know, we got this track, spit you out. It sounds like it'd be perfect for it. I played it for the directors and the producers, and everyone loved it. It was great. It fit perfectly into the feel of the film. So much that the producers invited him out to actually shoot a music video for it to coincide with the DVD of the film. Did you ever believe in me? I never had a doubt. Although you were a part of me, I just had to spit you out. Other bands, Ottos Daughter. Ottos Daughter, a lot of the music in the dance club is Ottos Daughter. Ottos Daughter is an industrial band out of Los Angeles. My band never played with Ottos Daughter, but I've been sort of a fan through listening to their stuff on the internet, that kind of thing. So I contacted them. They were thrilled, gave us a bunch of songs, and we threw all those in there.
I'm gonna go get the check. You stay here, okay?
Woo! What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
If you notice in the film, every time Phil is in the car, there's like this 70s rock playing on the radio. That is an artist named Emmett Taylor, who did sort of a psychedelic 70s album. Not very well known, but you can find it on iTunes, and it's worth the money. It's very 70s. So it seemed very fitting that anytime Phil was in the car, that any song from Emmett Taylor would play. Of course, we threw a Dice Symphony song. I mean, you know, if I'm picking the music, fuck it, I'm gonna pick the music. I'm gonna throw my own song in. So we threw Runaway in there, and actually there's another track as well that will be on the soundtrack, on the CD soundtrack, which is sort of a new Dice Symphony track. You'll never win. So hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight into the composing of a monster. Go out and buy the soundtrack.